I've officially passed the midpoint of my murder mystery novel, though there were a couple chapters in the first half that I kind of just like skipped over because I just didn't feel confident about what I would put in that chapter, in that scene. Like, I didn't have the vision for it. And a lot of it is like, I think I'm losing a little bit the thread of arcs that came before it, which is making me want to go back to the beginning and kind of do like another pass through so badly. But I'm holding myself back because we are also kind of running out of time. If you've been around for a while, you know that I've been in a period of unemployment because I just finished grad school at the end of last year. But I officially start my new full time job in 2.5 weeks. It's only a 4 month contract, but I mean, it's better than nothing. But I'll be working full time, which means there's going to be a lot less time for writing. So my goal is really to try and finish this draft in the next 2.5 weeks, which should be easy. Like, that's a reasonable amount of time, especially because the back half of the book, there's so much prose that I've taken from previous drafts. Like, right now, my main goal is just trying to make it correct because there's like a lot of things that aren't quite right, like personalities that have been changed a little bit, relationships that have been changed a little bit. So just making sure that everything lines up. But I've also just been struggling to get into the writing mindset because I knew I was going to start this job like a month ago now. So I've just kind of been waiting between then and now. And originally I was like, okay, maybe like with 1 month to go, I'm going to just like lock in and really focus. But that didn't really happen. Like, I was still writing on and off, but I just didn't feel like that drive. And I think a part of it is that it's like summer now. Like, I do my best writing in the colder weather, so in fall, winter, spring, just because, when it's nice outside, you just want to like be outside. And when it's hot, I just have trouble like focusing on my computer indoors. It shouldn't be that hard to finish this draft, but it just like mentally feels tough, especially because I'm battling with myself the entire time, just wanting to go back to the beginning and really like fill in everything and like flesh things out to where I want it to be. But I'm like, no, I cannot just go back to the beginning because then I'm definitely not going to finish before starting my job. I just need to like push through. And this draft is really about like making everything that's on the page correct, filling in all the gaps, even if it's rough. There's a lot of like first draft feeling scenes. I just have to trust that I'm going to fix it in the next draft. Against my better judgment, I succumbed to temptation and went back to the start of the book, which necessarily wouldn't be that bad if I was feeling motivated and getting like a lot of writing done, because like the first 5, 10, 15 chapters are pretty solid. I should be able to go through them pretty quickly. I think it's around like chapter 15, maybe through 20, where like I kind of lose the plot a little bit figuratively and literally. Like, things start to get a little bit tougher, and that's like really where I need to nail things down. But instead, I have not gotten very much writing done. We currently have 10 days until I start my job, and I have made very little progress. We had a long weekend. I went away for that, and I didn't do any writing. So, and then this morning, I finally convinced myself to get some writing done. And it's like, the issue is not the writing. Like, when I open my laptop and I start working on it, like, things are great. I'm having a good time. But it's just like that mental block of just like getting the laptop in front of me. So we got to page 27 this morning, and I'm going to try and get some more writing done this afternoon. It is just past noon, so maybe I'll get some like lunch first. But this has been a little bit of a bummer. Like, I've been thinking about like why this is so hard for me right now, because I can't tell if it's an issue of like I'm just not into the project. Like, this is a project that I wrote, like 5 years ago, and I'm revisiting it now, trying to make it better and bring it up to my current standard. So maybe I've just like lost the spark for it that I had back then. But then that's not true. Like, the new relationships, the new things I've created make me feel really excited, but at the same time, like, I just like don't feel like working on it. But then that leads me to the question of like, would I feel any better about working on any other project? Like, maybe I'm just kind of like burnt out with writing right now because I am querying a book, and I feel like that's also getting into my head of just like not really feeling like writing because of just like all the pressure and all the overthinking and everything that's going on. So with all that said, I'm going to keep working on this. It feels like that window of being able to finish this draft before my job starts is like narrowing and narrowing, and I'm worried I might have already passed it because the idea of going through like the entire rest of the story, like probably like 30 chapters, 35 chapters in 10 days. That's like 3 chapters a day, which feels crazy. But I could potentially like get through like another 5 today if I just like lock in, because these chapters go really quickly because it is pretty clean at this point. So I'm feeling like it's not going to happen. Like, I'm not going to finish this draft in time, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try, because if I keep working on it, if that is my goal, if I force myself to like actually get a lot done every day between now and the first of the next month, like, even if I don't finish it, I'll get quite a ways into the story. I'm just calling it quits for tonight. I have not been writing this whole time. Almost as soon as I was like, I want to focus in and write, I got pulled in so many different directions. And I took like an hour-long nap before dinner, and I was feeling so out of it. But after dinner, I finally sat down and really focused in, and I got to page 67, which is in chapter 14. These chapters are really short, and I have to say, now that I have like a little bit more objectiveness reading through them and I can like feel how they feel, like I can get a sense of it, I really like how they read. Like, I feel like they don't feel too short, or they don't feel too like repetitive or whatever. Like, I'm really happy with how they're looking. And the prose itself in the story is still pretty clean. So I think I can easily get a number of chapters done tomorrow as well, as long as I just like actually sit down and take the time and do the thing. I can't remember the last time I updated you because I'm now 2 days into starting my job. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I was just feeling really just like burnt out. I know it was like going back and forth of like, is it just writing this story specifically? Is it just generally I need a break from writing? And I think it's the latter. I think I've been so focused, not just like, in the last year, but in the last couple years, like really pushing, that I feel like, especially with the querying not going like super successfully, I just think I need like a step back. Like, in the past, I have taken, a couple months to like half a year off doing nothing, kind of getting my wind back, getting my motivation back. But I think since starting like this channel, I felt this motivation to like keep pushing, keep going, to like be doing stuff every week. And now that I'm like transitioning to doing full time work, on top of like everything else I want to do in life, I have so little time. So I think it's actually kind of good for me that I'm going to give myself, I don't even know how long until I come back to writing. I did do a little bit of writing before I started my job. So I did a couple more chapters. I'm now on page 76. So I don't even know if we're like properly into Act 2. We're like kind of between Act 1 and Act 2, though you could argue that Act 2 started even earlier and it was a super, anyways. I don't really want to think about it. I don't really want to overthink it. I'm happy with where the story is that I've left off on. I know I'll be able to come back and complete it. Like, earlier on, when I was like at the beginning of writing, like, I was always worried about if I stop a project in the middle, I'm not going to come back and finish it. But I feel pretty confident in myself at this point that like when the time comes, when I've like refilled my creative well, when I'm ready to keep writing, like, I will come back to it. Though the only thing that could deviate from that is if I get too excited to write the fantasy book. So before I started working on this murder mystery, I wrote like the first draft of a fantasy book with 3 points of view. And currently my partner is reading it and putting down notes for me. And I wanted to give myself a couple months while working on the murder mystery before I went back and reread it. But what I actually did right before I started working again was I took an entire evening and I actually outlined one of the point of view characters for the second book. And I had a really fun time devising that, putting together these like brainstorming ideas that I've had over the last couple of years and kind of really building it out. And that was really fun. So I have no idea where I'm going to go from here. I think I'm definitely going to take a little bit of time off, really get into reading because I have quite a long commute on the bus, so I can read quite a bit. And we'll see what happens. I'm not going to push myself to get back into it. Like, it may be a pretty long break. I have no idea. And I'm just going to like let myself feel it out and decide to come back when I'm ready or wait a really long time. But, writing has always had this like, is this itch for me? And like right now it feels burnt out or whatever, but I know that at some point I'm going to feel it again and I'm going to want to get back into it. Probably when I settle into the job, I have a bit more time. I don't feel quite as exhausted every day. Not that I'm even putting that much pressure on myself to write, but it just doesn't like feel fun. Like when I'm like sitting there in the evening, I'm like, what do I want to do with my time? I feel like I'd much rather read a book, watch a movie, do those other things rather than have to use like the added brain power of writing. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Thank you if you've been hanging out on my channel for a while. I'll still share querying updates, but yeah, I think I'm going to take a step back from writing and as well making my writing videos. I feel like I usually say see you in the next video, but I don't know when that's going to come out. I don't know when I'm going to get back into writing again, but you will see querying updates here and then. So until then, see you later.